The box truck is getting a real serious test now. Our cabin on wheels that we built out of this GMC Savana box truck. We've had it out for a few trips. Those of you who've been following along have seen this. We've had it out a few times, and then we would, regroup at our home base, do some work on it, make some improvements or repairs, whatever, take it out again. Well, we left 5 days ago or something like that. We left Northeast Wyoming, headed out, and we're now in, as you can tell by the scenery, maybe, depending on how familiar you are with the scenery in Wyoming and where we're at right now, we're not in Wyoming anymore. Like from Wizard of Oz. We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. All right, we're not in Wyoming anymore. Instead, we are in Utah, southern Utah specifically, and this is kind of, I would call it high desert. So we're heading towards Pahrump, Nevada. That's kind of our first stop, and then we were going to kind of regroup in Pahrump, and from there we'll go on down to southern Arizona. Probably somewhere, roughly speaking, in the Quartzsite area. I don't know if it'll be exactly Quartzsite or somewhere else, but I got some work to do down there, and obviously a little warmer and hopefully drier and sunnier even than Pahrump. So that's kind of our plan. I'm recording this on Saturday, the 3rd or something like that of January. I don't even know. I had to write the date today for the first time, and I put down 2025. It's 2026. I do that every year, though, so that's nothing new, but I think it's January 3rd. It's a Saturday. We're heading out of here. We've been here for a couple days now, recuperating a little bit, and I had to catch up on some work from a couple big days of travel, getting down this far. The weather's been good, but we got a couple things with the truck that have turned out to be challenging. And we knew there'd be stuff. I mean, you do a complete custom build on any vehicle, and that includes, right, our cabin on wheels. Don't mind the trash up there on top of the garage. That's where we store it while we're camped to hopefully keep critters and stuff out of it. But anytime you do a complete build like this, you take it out and do a good shakedown and you find some things. So we've been out, we did like a trip from Wyoming down to Oglala National Grassland in Nebraska. We've been up into the national grassland in northeast Wyoming, Thunder Basin National Grassland. We've been up to the Bighorn Mountains. So we've been out a few times, but this has been our first big trip. I think we're probably about 700 miles into it or so now. Got another few hundred to go till we get to Pahrump, and then we'll be taking another few hundred, I guess it is. It's been a couple years since I did it, but I think it's a few hundred miles down to Quartzsite area. 200 and something, 300, something like that. But with our serious shakedown around here, I did some adjustments before we took off. I spent a little bit of time tweaking some of our electrical system. It is a hodgepodge electrical system that was effectively free because they're all components that we had in the van. So, and already had on hand that weren't in use or that were in the van. So they're all kind of recycled, mishmashed together. It's working, but if you look at the sky, we've been having a lot of clouds. Yesterday was really bad. No, I take that back. Yesterday we had sun. The day before that was really bad. Today's been pretty cloudy. We had a sun a little this morning. So solar is a challenge because we have 640 watts of solar up on the roof of this thing. And when the days are short and the sun is low in the horizon, you can kind of see up there our solar. Well, when the days are short, sun's low in the horizon, and then it gets cloudy, there's just no chance, even with 640 watts. That should be way more than adequate if the sun was up, but we're not seeing the sun much. And so our battery storage capacity is a little bit limited. I got some strategies, and I'll show you real quick inside, but this is what we've got. But this is a hodgepodge collection, so don't get too excited about it. Like I said, I literally just threw together some things that I had on hand to get us going, get us down here. And I got a strategy for what I'm going to be doing differently that will work better. This system right here, though, I want to say that if the sun was shining and the days were a little bit longer, so like let's say spring through late fall, if the sun's shining, this system will be more than adequate for our power needs. Because our power needs really aren't all that great, but we do need to run a fridge and we need to run a laptop and stuff for work. And we need to run internet, which whether it's a cellular hotspot or whether it's the Starlink, which on the roof there too. So we got a few things we got to run, and heat, presumably or hopefully, because even though Yeah, I'm just wearing a flannel shirt here. It gets below freezing here now. We had a heavy frost last night. So it's pretty well working if the sun shines. If the sun's up all day like it was yesterday, I think, it's fine. If it's cloudy like this with the short days and with the sun being low on the horizon, we're rationing power. So that's got to get expanded. And we are going to be expanding the solar, but I want to do that as part of an overall upgrade, not just randomly throwing things together, because sometimes you end up with components that don't play nice together. The big thing we need is more storage capacity. I'll show you what I got in here in just a minute, though. The other challenge we got, and this one is a little frustrating, our diesel heater died. Again, this is the second one in, I'd say this year, but it's now 2026. So it's the first one in 2026, but it died yesterday. And I don't have a good way to show you because it's the underside of it is out here. We've got our fuel tank on the side there, and then things go underneath the fuel pump and everything, and then goes up inside, and the heater itself is inside in this garage section, and then we have it ducted around in the house. So anyways, the first one failed, the fault was a main motor fail, so it got retired. It was over a year old at that, or about a year old at that point, I guess, and right about a year, and we said, well, that's it. I'm not trying to replace a motor in that thing. We had another one on hand that we picked up it was brand new, but we picked it up at a moving sale in Wyoming over the summer. So we got it for like $50. So we installed that one. That's been working fine since we installed it, with the catch that it's a push button on or off, and it's 8 kilowatts. So unless it's like sub-zero, which we've had some of that in Wyoming, 8 kilowatt sub-zero, we're running in 24/7. For as long as the cold snap lasts. But when it gets, even if it's in the 30s, it just roasts us out of there. We have a heat pump with our air conditioner that we can use when we're plugged in, but the heat pump doesn't work either when it gets really cold. So it's kind of but when that's not working, we can turn on the diesel heater. Well, this one failed yesterday, and it's throwing the glow plug failure code. Yes, you can get new glow plugs for those things if you can find the right one. I'm not going to. I'm tired of pulling these things out of here. We're doing something different. We'll let you know what it is as soon as we figure it out, but it's not going to be another Chinese diesel heater. I took a chance on these. Frankly, Melanie told me not to do it, but I took a chance on these cheap Chinese diesel heaters. I know some people have terrible luck with them. Some people say they have great luck with them. Anecdotally, it seems like a lot of the people who have great luck with them spend a lot of time in places where it's pretty mild weather and they don't have to run them much. We have been running the heck out of both of these things because we've been in winter weather conditions where it gets very, very cold, and they might run 24 hours a day for a while, and other days they might be on for 12 hours a day. So that's probably a factor that we actually use it a lot, but we're going to do something else. I'm tired of dealing with this. It's not the end of the world to pull it out and rebuild it or whatever, but it's a pain in the butt, and I'm tired of doing it. So we want reliable heat when we need it. We're just doing something else. So that's our experience with the Chinese diesel heaters. We're done. We'll let you know what we figure out next. I had a couple of ideas, but we'll let you know when we figure out what we are doing next. Meanwhile, I'll hop inside, show you a real quick, simple brief preview of our electrical system. I'm not going to get carried away with it because it's like I said, it's just a mishmash of components that we had, and it's kind of working, except for like right now when there's a lot of cloud cover and the days are short and the sun's low on the horizon. It's just not enough. So I'll show you that. And again, that's going to be getting upgraded more seriously very soon. So far, we've got like $0 into our electrical system in here because it's all stuff that we had on hand. All right, so here's our electrical system, such as it is. Like I said, it's nothing special. The refrigerator's down the bottom, not the greatest use of space, but we need room to clear the shelf above it when we open it. So that's where that is. I'd love to see that positioned somewhere else a little better. You can see our micro shelves, as we call them, with food and things. I'm tripping over stuff here, food and things on them on the walls, which has been really handy. But the centerpiece of this system is the big Bluetti here, the AC240. And this is kind of like the main component. This provides AC power to everything in the truck except for the air conditioner and heat pump, which I actually have run separately just so that it doesn't put that load on here. It also provides through this 30 amp DC out port that runs up here to the fuse block, This is a Blue Sea, good quality one. This is the cover for it, but it's off right now because I was pulling the fuse out for the diesel heater so it would stop flashing error codes at me. This little power station here, the DC still works on it. The AC has quit working, so I can't get the AC to come on. We're using it for DC. We plug the Starlink into it when we need to run the Starlink in one of these PD USB-C ports here. See, we're getting a trickle of power in here. If it shows on the camera, there we go. Trickle of power, not much, but basically this is our main system. We have a little Bluetti here too, a little EB3A. That's a fantastic little portable one. So this is hooked up to the 240 watt solar panel on the roof. This is hooked up to 400 watts of solar panels on the roof. This is the main one. They're at 95% right now. So we've been rationing power, trying to get what we could in for sun today. Underneath here, buried in the shelves, I have a couple of more batteries. These are lithium 100 amp hour batteries. I forget even the name of them. What they do is they just charge off solar, or I charge them manually if I am plugged in. But we also have this, I should show you this, the plug in here. This is all of our shore power connections. And this big one is for the heater and air conditioner. But these other two are for the power stations, these two here. So that's just whenever we're plugged into shore power, these just charge and keep things charged up. So we did like stop at an RV park on the way down one night, our first night up in Wyoming, charged everything up good. But since then we've been off grid. So I say this runs out to provides power for the AC, where I use for the desk and stuff primarily, but also at our little kitchenette. This one is a 30 amp DC out that goes to the fuse block, and that provides some other stuff like, you know, lights, like this one up here. You know, we got a few of them around, and the fan in the back, and, you know, 12 volt and USB outlets and stuff. So pretty simple system. But what I can do with these batteries down here, this is not, I'm not pitching this is a great idea, but what you can do with them is, you see this line here, these are MC4s. And if I was going to keep doing this, I would replace these with like XT60s or something to make it easier. But this is my solar in, the 400 watts coming in off the roof for the big Bluetti. And this is the lines for the MC4s for the solar in on the Bluetti. But I can disconnect these if I'm not getting solar in, or if it's nighttime, and I can plug in my 200 amp hours of lithium batteries using these MC4 cables that run off of there. And they just connect here to the MC4s into the, for the solar input to the Bluetti, and I'll get about 100 to 110 watt hours coming in. So that's nothing like the 400 watts or 350 watts I'll get out of the panels when I'm plugged in, is nothing like the much higher AC volt recharging when I'm on plugged into shore power, but it's something. So I can get 100, 110 watts in at night while the sun is down, and it's kind of a one-off, if you will, in that I can use those to fully recharge this Bluetti, which is, so it's kind of in a pinch, but I just had those on hand because they were in the van. We'd bought them for the van a year and a half ago. So that's why I had them. I didn't go out and buy them or anything. I just had them around. They were doing nothing. So we put them in here. It's turned out handy at this campsite because we've been dealing with days of cloudy weather and not a lot of sun. So that's how we were able to keep going as long as we have. I think we're leaving here tomorrow or Monday morning first thing. We won't be here too much longer. Hopefully we can stay charged up while we're here, because I still have work to do, and I got to get this video edited and uploaded for you guys. And so that's kind of our really simple system for now. Like I say, it's nothing special. I don't recommend going out and emulating it. It's just kind of a, you know, this is the Bluetti's the main one. This one kind of serves for, basically just does the Starlink now, because the AC is no longer working on it. It won't turn on. And the little Bluetti we can use outside the truck or up in the front of the truck where we don't have, if we don't have enough receptacles or something like that, we can use that for like a backup convenient thing. I actually use this to, we had to put a starting battery in the truck on the way down. It died, but I was able to jump start it by using a battery charger I have with a jump start capability and this little Bluetti. And so I just carried it up to the hood of the truck with a jump start, you know, the jump start and battery charger, plugged that into here, connected it to the starting battery. We were able to get the truck started. So it's convenient, but it's kind of a lesser used thing. So the main thing is this Blue Yeti AC240. And then this is basically just a Starlink, so it can run whenever I need it running and is not coming off our main house system that normally also powers our refrigerator and our diesel heater, although it no longer powers the diesel heater. So that's it. I don't recommend particularly doing this, but that's kind of what we did because it's what we had. So we threw together this system to meet our needs, and they're separately, the two different power stations are separately charged with solar. So it just allows us to spread out the energy draw off into different stations and prioritize the one we need running the most. Basically, the truck's doing great other than the starting battery that died we had ever replaced in Southwest Wyoming, and the diesel heater died yesterday, and our electrical is really not fully adequate for our needs, so that's going to be coming soon. We'll be upgrading that. It'll be getting moved to, this is the shower. This is all sitting in right now, except for there's no shower because we have a refrigerator and a bunch of electrical stuff in it. So whether we get around to doing a shower for sure is an open question, but that's where it was supposed to be, and right now it's just serving as a rack to store the power systems and the refrigerator down there. So it'll be going out in the other room, I think, closer to the desk, which is what I wanted to do in the first place when we did this build, and it just ended up back here. So we'll move it. That's also going to allow me to connect a Blue Yeti Charger 1 or Charger 2 DC to DC charger, because it's really too long to try and stretch it back here. The battery is in the front right corner. This is in the rear left corner. That's going to be it's a 16.5-foot box. The cab, the battery's all the way in the front of the engine compartment. By the time you come back and over and back, that's probably getting out close to 25 feet, which is kind of a long run for 12 volt for charging. So we'll do something different with that. But by moving everything up forwards, it'll be easier to reach it with a Charger 1 or Charger 2 for DC charging. So whenever I'm driving, we'll be getting things charged up that way as well. So we'll arrive wherever we're going fully charged, which will be wonderful. All right, that's kind of where things are at. It's going good other than those couple of little things. The starting battery's been resolved. We need more solar and more battery power. Not for the days it's sunny. We're totally set for when it's sunny. It's for the days when it's not sunny and when the sun's kind of short, not up very long in the sky. And we need a new heater. So right now, if we were plugged in, we could be using it's not too cold here. It's getting below freezing, but not too bad. So we could use our heat pump, but we need to be plugged in to do that. And other than that, we have a Mr. Heater Portable Buddy. That's kind of our standby. That's why we keep it around, is for occasions like this when something goes wrong. So it's always been reliable. So that's what we use as our backup, and we're using it right now for heat to stay warm when it gets down below freezing at night. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to the channel, please, if you have not already. Don't forget to hit the like button, and we'll catch you on the next video.